Hey folks, something that has become more and more apparent to me in Tears of the Kingdom is that the Skylands have a history. Sherlock. Obviously they do. Okay, of course they have a history, but what I mean is we've slowly been showing more and more of the sky, and with this, a question has popped up more and more. Who are the people of the sky? Now, we haven't actually seen a figure in the sky, other than Link, just to clarify. However, with this most recent trailer, it's been made more clear that there either are, or was, a group of people up here. Likely with this figure as a leader or someone in an important role. Somebody obviously had to build the structures we see and have a purpose for doing so, but who exactly was that? Today, I want to go over some ideas regarding this and try to get an idea of who the sky people are, or where, as well as speculate about if we'll actually see them present in the game, or if it will be another Zonai situation. Foreshadowing. Anyway, it's a bloody interesting topic, so definitely be sure to go and grab yourself a snack or drink and send them in to get featured right here, and also be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps the channel out. And let's get into this one. The answer to who are the sky people that built these structures, possibly still live up here, and depicted on this carving can be narrowed down to three main candidates in my opinion. The Wind Tribe seen in the Minish Cap, the Zonai not seen, but seen in Breath of the Wild, or a new group that we haven't seen before. There are of course other candidates, but far less likely in my opinion, and we'll get to them later. For now, let's focus on those three, starting with the Wind Tribe from the Minish Cap. To put their history brief, in the Minish Cap we can find a location known as the Wind Ruins. This is the former home of the Wind Tribe. They built these ruins and once lived here. However, over time the tribe grew powerful and gained mastery over the wind. They literally learned how to use the wind. They then abandoned these ruins and moved to the skies, moving their palace up there, to the cloud tops, which is where they now reside. They appear like typical humans and are generally really good people. We only ever saw them in the Minish Cap, however, the second game in the Zelda timeline. Given the time frame, which is unknown, but definitely a long time between these days and what we're seeing now, could the Wind Tribe be responsible for all of these islands, ruins and structures seen in the Skylands? They certainly fit. Something cool to consider as well is the similarities between these green swirly things that likely take us up to some islands, and the swirl that takes Link up whilst working with the Wind Tribe. I wouldn't say this means anything necessarily, but thought it was worth mentioning. That's the Wind Tribe for you. Now, let's move on. The Zonai weren't seen in person in Breath of the Wild, however, their remains were. A legacy was left behind. An ancient civilization, long gone, said to be magically powerful and barbaric. Could they be behind these islands? An idea floating around currently is that the Zonai's mysterious appearance from Hyrule could be because they grew so powerful with their magic that they moved to the sky. Much like theories on real-life ancient civilizations that were said to be powerful. Not just that, but we've seen a lot of Zonai connections up here, and in the trailers in general. It's clear that they'll be playing a role in this game again. It may just be in the form of remains and architecture of their work, but it could go as far as them being present in person. I am no expert on the Zonai by any means. I know surface level information and a little bit beyond that. What is for certain, it's impossible to deny their presence, despite some fans trying. Which, to be honest, I still don't really understand why some fans are against them. Anyway, they are a big candidate, if you will, for being behind these ruins. Another point in favour of them is that the architecture style seen up here isn't something we've seen before. It doesn't hold any strong resemblances to that of, say, the Sheikah or Hylians. It's unique. So are the Zonai, a group which has connections up here. Now, whilst the Zonai and Wind Tribe respectively are separate groups to our knowledge, my next idea takes a different approach. A sort of extension of those first two ideas is the possibility of the Wind Tribe and Zonai Tribe being one of the same. However, there are a few issues with that idea, such as the Zonai being said to have been a barbaric tribe, whilst the Wind Tribe were peaceful people. But considering the Wind Tribe are ancient by the time of Breath of the Wild, as are the Zonai, both powerful wielders of abilities not possessed by the average person, the idea of them being the same is there, but does have complications in the way. It's a fun one to throw in the mix. But what if it's neither? What if the Sky People are someone we've never seen before? in a way, this is probably the most likely case. Well, it's hard to say, to be honest. It's definitely up there as a possibility, a strong one too. Going back to the earlier point of this style of architecture being something unseen before in the series, that could be hinting at a group of people or origin that we haven't seen before. Something brand new. The sequel will need something / someone big to create a fresh storyline. That's definitely what this figure is. It's just, who is this figure and whatever / whoever they are. Someone new would be perfect for that, adding freshness. But the Zonai are interesting enough to fit as well. More so if we end up seeing an actual Zonai tribesperson, not just how it was in Breath of the Wild. In a way, they'd kind of be a new group if seen in the flesh. But yeah, the third idea is it just being someone new altogether. That's the most likely candidates in my opinion. The Wind Tribe, the Zonai Tribe, and a new group. Now, there are other possibilities, but none that come as close. For example, you could throw the likes of the Yoka in the mix, but many fans find them creepy AF. I don't get it personally, I think they're okay. So, let's not go there. The Rito could also be considered, or some sort of ancient Rito, but the chances of that in my opinion are very unlikely. Going off hints and details across the 3 trailers and teaser footage that we've seen, the 3 that I mentioned are the most likely in my opinion. To sort of conclude and begin to wrap this video up, let me tell you what I personally think is the case, and also ask a big question. Personally, I think that the one behind these ruins are the Zonai. Yes. I currently believe that they are the ones behind these islands, and all of the designs and architecture seen. I would like to keep in mind the idea of the Wind Tribe being connected to the Zonai, and for this reason. The Zonai were said to be barbaric, which at first goes against them being connected to the Wind Tribe, but these structures and designs, in my opinion, don't strike me as barbaric, rather peaceful, elegant, and divine, more in line with the Wind Tribe. They could be related in some way, perhaps they had a period or turned barbaric at some point throughout history. It's all a big game of speculation still. None of this is a theory by any means. Not much evidence involved, just pure fun speculation. I don't even expect this to be correct, but if it was, I'd be pretty happy. Surprised, but happy. Now, let me ask a question. Will whoever the Sky People are / were be present in Tears of the Kingdom? Forget who they are for a moment, just will they be up here, or will it be like the Zonai? We see their work, but not them. My answer would be yes. Breath of the Wild could get away with a more empty overworld, because it was literally a post-apocalyptic world. However, I don't think that's the direction the sequel will go. I believe there will be a group of people up here, and as mentioned very early in the video, and throughout, this depicted figure will be a central part of that group, and just the game in general. But as to who they are exactly, we'll just have to wait and find out. Oh, and before getting into the actual outro, I just want to give a massive shout out to Splattered Colours, as she goes by on YouTube, or Splat AKV on Instagram. She made the absolutely incredible artwork seen throughout the video, of her take on what this deity-like figure actually looks like. Of course, I've used it for my own interpretation in this video, but she also has a video of the creation of the artwork, and some thoughts on it. I've linked it below and highly recommend checking it out, as well as following her on Instagram. Oh, and whilst we're still here, I would like to mention that this figure could technically be any of the people I mentioned. They could be Zonai, Wind Tribe, New, or anything else. It's all a big game of speculation still. Thanks for listening to my speculation on one of Tears of the Kingdom's biggest mysteries. I can't say I have any theories on this, as there isn't enough to work with, at least for me, so I speculate. I found it more fun anyway. I hope that you enjoyed it, and let me know what you think of all of this. Be sure to drop a wee like down below if you enjoyed, and also consider subscribing for more fabulous Zelda content. Both would make my day. Follow my socials linked below to keep up to date, and as always, a huge, massive, amazing shout out goes to all of my channel supporters. Thanks a ton. Your support really helps me to make these videos week in, week out, all month long, 365 days a year. If you'd like to join them and get yourself a shout upon joining and your name at the end of every video, then consider supporting via the links below. Thanks for watching. I hope you all have an amazing day or night, and until the next time, I've been Hyrule Gamer.